Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxshire, on the show this evening as your one and only Albert and Robert. Evening, boys.
Evening, you two. How are you doing?
Evening,
Good,
Ox.
mate.
Evening, Albert.
Good, Albert, how's yourself?
I'm good, pal. Lovely weather. Rangers are playing. No getting beat, as I said before. I'm all for it. Great. Yourself?
Good, mate. Good. Robert, how are you?
Same as Albert, mate. Enjoying the weather, making the most of it while it's here, and getting closer to that season starting. So, it's certainly shaping up close to that season, mate, and the weather's here as well to enjoy. So, everyone's happy and everyone's good.
I'm going to say something to the two of you, and I'd like you to pass comment. I'm not judging our new manager. I want to talk where we were this time last year and what happened. I don't know why, and I've nothing to base this on, but it just looks a better fit. Albert.
Aye, well, it does. We're not so anxious, no. So far. It just, as I said before, his time served, so there's nothing hidden about him. He's no one tried. He's time served in the league. Whereas before, when Martin, you're getting, oh Christ, no. Get told by other people that what type of manager is, what would actually unfold, actually transpire. That's exactly what happened. What we get told. We did with McKinnon. He's time served, mate. That's all you can say. You know exactly what you're going to get. Man. There's not going to be any surprises here. You know exactly what you're going to get. You know exactly what kind of team is going to put together, and you know exactly what kind of football they're going to be playing. So, from that point of view, it's pretty settling. Whether you like that to it, it's neither here nor there. That's just the way it's going to be. So let's hope it's winning football, mate.
Aye. Nothing. I'm not saying it's going to be a rip-roaring success. I'm just saying, Robert, it just looks a better fit.
I think that's a fair comment, mate. I think if you look at the pre-season camp, the pictures, the videos, you can see there's certainly, for me, there's been a step up of demand and intensity from the get-go. You've heard the players speak about how intense it is, the double sessions. All right, the 2 games we've had over there's behind closed doors. Nobody's a fan of it, but the results pre-season are secondary. It's all about getting minutes in the legs, getting the squad assessed. And I think right now, it's a fair comment to make that everything just looks better than what it was 12 months ago. As Albert says, there's not that feeling of uncertainty or worry. You're still hopeful that we can get a good start to the league campaign, but from where we sit at the moment, then it's looking a lot better than what it was, mate. That's for sure.
Based on nothing, really. Based on nothing, but it's just my take on it, you know. So it looks as if, let me just make sure I get the name right. Vanja Dragovic. Are you happy with that, Robert?
Vanja
Dragojevic.
Dragojevic.
Oh, do the surname again?
Dragojevic.
That wasn't bad, Albert, was it?
Aye, it's good. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's good.
It looks as if he's in the building. Yeah. And since the last time he won, he's been joined by Cabby Devlin, which is, I'll use the word that you've just used, Albert, time served in the league.
Why? Definitely. I don't think the boy's good enough, but what he is good at is, as I've said a 1,000 times, is he's a needle. He's a wee nuisance, and I think he'll do a job for us. I really do think he'll do a job for us. I don't think he's the best football player in the world, but again, I don't think he's getting brought in to be that. He's getting brought in for a particular job and a particular standard. Let's put it that way. He's to set the standard, especially in training. He's to get them wound up. He's to get them thinking the right way about the Scottish game, is to pass on the experience to the ones that have never played really in the Scottish game, which is going to be about 6 or 7 players, isn't it?
Underage.
Aye. Aye. So he's there to do that type of job, mate. That's what I see him as to be that type of player. And I'm not against it, by the way. We've played against him often enough to know what kind of player he is. My concern is he'll be sent off. I would tip him at least sent off 3 times this season at least, because he'll not get away with what he got away with at Hearts. He'll not get that. He'll not that luxury. You know what's coming.
I get it, mate. I get it. I fully understand. Robert?
I think you can sum it up by saying you take to play against him. You'd love to have him in your team just because of the bite and the bit of hunger he gives in the midfield that we've lacked. I know he's not the most physical player, but he certainly gets stuck in. He's got a tackle in him. He doesn't shy away from anything. I think that's something that we've missed over the past seasons. And I said he's not the big towering midfielder, physical dominant guy going to be on the ball. I think as Albert says, he's going to be a squad player, but there will be many games where he'll come off the bench either to get control of the midfield, shoot it up. You look at games last season where you look for somebody who could do that. Cammy Devlin might be that answer. I don't think he's going to be a main starter in the team. Far from it, from all the reports and the players that are coming in. I think he will be a squad player, but as I said, I think you take to play against him, but you'd love to have him in your squad.
Well, he's in the building. It's not up to him. If he gets in the team and he does the business and we're winning, he stays in the team. Simple as that. That's the same for any signing, Albert. I wish the boy the best of luck.
Oh, exactly, mate. So they are. I've got nothing against the boy. I mean, I want him a big success because he's a success. Rangers are a success. So one follows the other as far as I'm concerned. He's a Rangers player now, so as far as I'm concerned, he's one of us. So you get behind him. I think we'll be greeting into our soup some of the times when he's marching up that tunnel there. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I hope the games are won by the time he gets to that point, but we'll see. Maybe the referees will, the summer, because they've not went to the World Cup and they've had all that time in their hands, maybe they've read the rule book and got it right now. Maybe they'll be better. Yeah, let's hope. Not.
You mentioned the World Cup, 2 best. 2 teams deserve to win the semi-final with a piece. Robert?
I'd say so. Up to that point, I would have said at least one of the games, the France-Spain game, no. But on the night, France didn't turn up the way they had in the previous games. So
Kind of a poor, a bit of
very
letdown.
poor. There was, because to me, that was a final, the semi-final between France and Spain. That's a final all day long. And it just didn't have that excitement. Now, to be fair, the whole World Cup's not been exciting at all. I've not enjoyed many games. It's been quite long and winded. And the expansion of the teams, it's made it less competitive, I think, for the bigger nations to go at each other until the latter stages. And then when they're up against a real test, like France were against Spain, they choked. And England done the same. And the manager's decisions in the England game, wow, that's come back to bite him big time. And I know there's a bit of debate about that now.
When we have the next HR day, mate, I'll get Albert to take you one side and teach the difference between a semi and something that's final. Albert?
Can you teach him that now? Come on.
You can.
The Spain, the 2 of them, Spain and Argentina, they deserve to be there. Let's put that up there right away, definitely. I watched the 2 games. I didn't watch many matches, but I watched the 2 games because I was hoping France go to the final because they were the better team, the best team in the tournament up until the semi-final. But Spain done a number on them, you know what I mean? Which was, they showed you how to do it. If you're going to do a pressing game and control a game and keep the ball away from a football team who's better than you, that's the way you do it. And they just dominated the whole game. I don't think France forward line kicked the ball. I really don't think they got a kick of the ball. And their forward line is superb. So, but their midfield let them down big time. Their defence was woeful, absolutely woeful. But and then you take Argentina. I mean, I don't know what the English were thinking about. I really don't. I think I'm the same as everybody else thinking, scratching your head, going 1-0 up. and we want to defend and just keep giving them the ball. Rangers do it all the time. We want to defend. We keep giving the team the ball. Tell you, I don't care what team it is. And Argentina are a good team, but I don't care what the team it is. If you keep giving them the ball, eventually they're going to score. Any team, that's you. If we play an amateur team, you keep giving them that ball, they'll score eventually. It's just simple, isn't it? It's just madness. But the end of the day, you look at them and say to yourself, they blew it big time. Big time they blew it. But the best team won in the end up. So I suppose all's fair loving war, as they say.
It was bizarre. It was bizarre watching it, mate. And it was obvious to anybody. Sometimes we've had it on here, Robert, and you come on, scratch your head and thinking, why did we make that substitution? That didn't make sense. We'll maybe critiqued it and we've seen it. Everybody you speak to's got the same rationale, and they were desperate to get legs on the part and brought on defenders, no?
That's the thing. I think it was the fact they went so early to sit with the back five. As Albert says, you're just asking for wave after wave of attack. And Argentina's going to do that. They're going to come at you. They've got the quality, particularly, of course, Messi. But as soon as they went to the back five, Argentina made their subs. Messi had the freedom of that right-hand side, and he punished them. But as you say, mate, you can look at any game of football in question and scratch your head about decisions. And that's how quickly games can be impacted on a decision, whether it's last 5, last 25. Small margins, but big mistakes.
Aye. So, what? Again, going back to the World Cup, obviously, Rangers players went deep. Raskin and Asgard. Asgard never got on much apart from the last knockout game. He scored a good goal. Raskin, is his reputation growing? Maybe is it Kaching time, Albert?
Well, it's Kaching time, definitely that, man. He's never hurt himself, his reputation. He's a decent. So I never really watched most of the games. So, but for everybody's speaking about the way he's played, he had a really good tournament, which is good for us. But definitely, it's time to cash in, man. Absolutely, get the chips up to the counter and cash in. Let's get him.
Robert?
I think for me, it was cash in time before the World Cup, mate, if I'm being honest. But certainly the performances he's delivered on the stage
That's
he
the
performed in.
difference, mate. That's the difference. You've got to know when to cash out.
Of course. But it was always one of the ones you were going to discuss during the summer.
You've done it again. You went too early. Not for the first time I may add. Carry on.
Not at all, mate. No, it was always going to be one discussion during the summer if you were to cash in and Raskin, because he's an asset to the club. So if you're looking to reinvest in the squad and I don't want to say rebuild, but refresh it, then you look at these players. Do you build around them or do you cash in? And he was always going to come into that argument. But certainly the performances he delivered and the way he conducted himself at the World Cup, I think it is certainly more viable now to cash in and sell him for a good hefty price and use it wisely.
I just think we've got to learn more lessons, mate. I think the days of building teams around players and thinking they're going to stay. Whatever his agent comes in, even if he did stay, mate, he'd either be looking for an increase for a get-out clause. This is the time, mate. And we don't even know, because you'll never know what people have got in their contracts as far as clauses are concerned. Albert, 2 years to go, stock's high. He's a perfect age. He's your player.
And a good World Cup.
It makes sense, mate. Good World Cup.
Well, the thing is, the writing was on the wall since as soon as he walked in the door and put pen to paper, mate. The very first thing he ever came out was, I want to play for Chelsea. I mean, that stopped my mind forever. As far as I looked at him for there on in, went, well, you're just a cash horse to me now. Nice if we get trophies along the way, but basically you're bought to definitely sell at the right time. We should be learnt our lesson with Morales and Kent, for example, and plenty of other players just walked out the door for nothing. I mean, roughly speaking, I would reckon anywhere between 50 and 70 million pounds we let walk out the door over the last 10 years. Easy. With players just run down contracts. So we've learnt our lesson, mate. We should have learnt our lesson, mate. But he's had a good tournament. time to sell now, mate. He's got 2 years left in his contract. I wouldn't even offer him the extension, mate. I would just say you're going. It's not like, oh, we'll give you another year. You're gone. You're gone now. So let's get this business done. And he's the one that wants to play in the Premiership anyway, mate. Whether his next moves to the Premiership, well, I don't know. I would imagine he would go to. I think he'll go to Spain. Spain, I think he'll end up. I don't know why I think that. I just do. I've no information to back that up.
I've got a funny feeling he'll be going south of the border, mate, the way some of the media are talking, but you never know. Robert?
I'll be honest, I think he's going to go to Italy. I think he'll go Italy first. I know he's got aspirations, but that's what I was going to say as well, Oxnell, that he's went on to the World Cup. He's performed as one of Belgium's kind of standout players of the tournament for them. There is big names within that, but they're kind of getting to the latter stages. So Raskin, does he now see himself as better than what he is at Rangers and want to move? I think he does.
Well, that's just covered Europe. We'll probably end up in South America.
Aye. Right, lads, we get the phone lines open.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So that's Shanklin, McCrory, Ben Godfrey. It looks as if he needs to do a wee bit more work when I saw him in the first pre-season game. Don't want to judge. I've bumped people up and they've failed dramatically. I've criticised people and they've turned out to be good. So, but Pandor the goalie, we've not seen much yet. And Dan Neil, who in the online world, Robert, has been saying he's been playing well in midfield.
Certainly from the first pre-season game against the Kaiser Chiefs out in Spain there, he was one of the ones that spoke a lot online about his performance. I know it was closed doors, but obviously some fan media were in and some people managed to see it from a vantage point, and they all said that Dan Neil was a standout, particularly in the first half. I know he's a young age, Ox, but he's got that experience. I know we've said it about other players that have came in the past about experience, but he's younger. He's been a captain. He's been at Sunderland for a number of years. I think it was 16 years he spent at Sunderland through the academy. He was on loan at Ipswich last season, so he is a good age. Again, whether he's going to be a main starter, I'm not sure, but I think he's the six. He's got the attributes and the qualities that we've been looking for. It'll be interesting to see how he sets the team up 2 weeks tonight.
Couple of friendlies to go, Albert, and we'll start seeing the jigsaw. I think there's a lot of business to be done, mate. You know, still a lot of business considering the bodies have been out the door, yeah?
I don't think the next two friendly games and maybe the first couple of league games, I don't think you're going to actually see the actual starting 11. Put it that way. I know there isn't such things as a starting 11 anymore with modern football, but you know what I'm saying. I don't think you're going to see anywhere close to what it's going to be looking like, mate, because this is going to take a few months, and definitely a few months to settle and get it all sorted. But again, as I said before, we won't give time to settle MD in. We need to start winning for day one. That's the end to it. So whatever way we do it, whatever team we put out, we need to start winning. But I agree with you, mate. There's still a lot of business to be done. We can argue all night about who should come in and who do we need and what position we need to get filled. You know what I mean? But definitely defence. The way I see it, I watched the friendly last night. Definitely the defence. Definitely the defence.
Well, if you think about it, mate, I mean, you know, if you take Suter out of your equation, that leaves really just Fernandes as the only recognised centre half at the moment. Tav's gone. Sterling, could you hang your hat on him? You know, obviously McCrory's come in. But I'm not seeing him as a recognised centre half, Robert.
No, for me, McCrory's going to be the right back option. I think the defence is the next area we need to target, and a lot of kind of speculation online's been about midfielders, and obviously a lot of bids of players getting in and talks advancing are all around midfielders. So I think the back line certainly needs to be addressed. For me, it is centre half, but also at left back. We've only got Tor Romans and then young Ashton Scally, who, no disrespect to him, I don't think you can go into a season as him as a backup. I think he needs development time, whether that's a loan elsewhere for the season through the cooperation we've got with other teams. But certainly a left back. I think at right back, you've got McCrory, Sterling. Is he going to be able to be in and out when required? I'm not sure. So I would like to see a bit of a centre half who could do cover at fullbacks as well. But certainly the back line for me is the next area to target. I think McInnes is content with the rest of kind of forward strikers, and obviously the wingers still need to be addressed.
I think we need minimum 2 centre halves, Albert.
Me too. As I say, I watched the goals that we lost. Was it last night that game they played? And I'm looking at the fullback saying there's still no stopping crossboys. Just crossboys still coming flying into our area. And then I looked at the second goal we lost. It's dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And you're saying, what's happening here? What's going on? But anyway, it's friendlies and it's too early to decide who's this, that, or next thing. But just for numbers wise and cover wise, definitely 2 centre halves, and at least 1 fullback. 2 centre halves, 1 fullback. That's you have 4 centre halves and 4 fullbacks each side. 2 fullbacks each side. So the midfield, we need. In fact, if anything, we need to start gutting the midfield to make room for bring the players that's getting rumoured who you want to sign, and then you can look at the wings. Me, for one, looking at Gasman's body language in some of the training sessions, Ting Ching Furiosa, bye. Yeah, I would say he needs replaced immediately. If you get money for him, get rid of him, because he's definitely he's no committed. He doesn't look committed to me.
No, my view on it, Robert, if somebody doesn't want to be there and you can make a deal, I've no seen. I've seen a couple of the training. I've not watched every single one, but I'll take Albert's word if that is the case. I'm not having any player, mate. Any player. I just don't think it's good. I think he's got that kind of, I don't know, sort of easy come, easy go attitude, Robert.
Mm-hmm. I think he has, mate. I think he's shown that, particularly in games last season. A lot of the time, a lot of frustration was pointed at Gassama. We have seen moments, but the moments weren't continuous enough or consistent enough for him to say that you're happy to go in to another season with him as a winger, as a starter anyway. So for me, attitude application, it's said a number of times on previous shows, any player, regardless of name or role within the team, if you've not got the right attitude, you're not applying yourself right, then there's only one way out, and that's the door.
Aye. I just don't think it's good for the group. I think that causes you other problems. I think that in a lot of industries as well, Albert,
Aye, to me the boy's petulant. He's huffy. It doesn't go his way, or just it's not that there's so much it doesn't go his way. It was just nothing. Just the slightest thing seems to be able to knock him off his rhythm. I gotta think he's a good player, the boy. I think he's a great player on his game. It's fabulous to watch. But I don't think he's the type that McInnes will like. I think McInnes over the next 4 to 8 weeks is still going to learn about the players that are here, and he's in for a big surprise with some of these players. I think he's end up going to go, no. For Jamie's another one. No, you're not fighting hard enough to get in the team. Things like that. These players need to be gutted and cleared out, because you're wasting your time. If you think you're going to turn these players round, you're wasting your time, because you're not going to happen. We've watched it now. We've watched it. Some of these guys. Well, we watched them for last year. There's still answers going to be found for what happened last year, the last 5 games especially. We know what happened at the beginning. I mean, that was directly due to the players falling out with the manager. That was that. But the last 5 games, that was criminal. That was just criminal. And I still think we've got rid of some of the problems that caused it, but I don't think we've got rid of them all. And there's certain hanger-ons that just need to go. need to go. I know that sounds doom and gloom before a season, but you've got to face up to it. You can't have them hanging about the club. If they're not going to contribute, get rid.
It's hard, but if you take Berjami, I think he's got a year left, Robert, I think.
Around about that, mate, I think I would be. And he's not had much game time to get a club interested in him. That's the problem you've got with these guys that are hangers on, as you say, Obi, and passengers. You can't have them within the squad. It doesn't bring good harmony. You can't use them because they're not going to have the attitude application, so you can't sell them. So you're stuck. And we've seen it too many times with different players over the years.
I agree, mate, but there's got to be a solution somewhere along the lines. I know we've been saying it for long enough, but they're hard to get rid of, which they are. But it's not impossible. We need to come up with some idea.
I think you can get rid of them. I think you can get rid of them, but it's a financial hit you take because they want X, Y, or Z to go, you know. So you can get rid of them. The
problem I've got is they're sitting there taking money and doing nothing. They're just taking up space, mate. They're just making a difficult situation more confusing because you're sitting going, right, I can't get rid of them, I need to pay them off. So rather than pay them off, I'll just keep them because I've got to pay them anyway and they'll be there. But when they're there, they're adding confusion to the group because they're going to become parts of the season where we're going to hit hard times. And you're looking at them saying,
would you rather take the hit? Because you're taking the hit anyway, ain't you?
Aye, but the other way is the manager might be thinking, well, I may as well have the asset sitting there because I'm paying for it anyway. So what's the difference? What's the point of getting rid of the asset, paying it off and I've no go at it? But I would say, aye, get rid of it. I'm with you. I'd say, aye, go. Because, as I say, it'll end up confusing. It'll come to a point in the season you're going to turn around and say, maybe I can rely on him, and you're going to get a big slap in the face when you try to rely on him. Berjami's a good case in point, mate. Every time you want to rely on the guy just lets you down. Sterling's another one for that. He's with injury rate enough. Still think Sterling's a good player. I think Berjami's a good player. I mean, I must admit, I don't think any of these players I'm talking about are bad players, bad attitudes, and they don't contribute enough. So as far as I'm concerned, they're useless. You may as well put a boy in their place because if you're just wanting a body. You may as well keep the boys and say, well, keep a boy there to be that body rather than have him sitting about. Hanging about like a bad smell.
Mr. Fox has made the point, that McInnes is maybe different and he might get, to coin a phrase, Robert, he might get a tune out of things, people that we think are maybe time to go.
There's always that potential, mate, with any manager that comes in, but what I would say is McInnes has obviously got the experience of the league, seeing the players. He obviously was up against us as a manager, but he done a lot of punditry and a lot of some of our European games last season as well. So, being a fan, he's probably kept an eye on it behind the scenes as well. So, he might think that he's seen enough of these players up close and personal in a game situation, and he might just think he's not the one to get something at them. And as Albert says, if he's not going to utilise them, then you've got to find that solution to get them out. But McInnes is a manager like everybody else. He's not a miracle worker. Some players will perform, others won't. And the ones that won't, you wouldn't be surprised if it's the ones that we've spoke about last season and before then. They're still not performing, but you're still stuck with them. So it's that circle you've got to try and get out somehow.
Aye. Listen, I think Berjami's good. We've seen him do some excellent things, in her moments and games. And I think I might be right giving a serious. I think it was maybe Tannadice. We thought, he's come back and he's got the bit between his teeth and then disappears again, So I don't know. I just think it would be time to go, but I think you might.
There's a saying. The saying is, you can't put in what God left out. I keep saying this. That's a saying. You can't put in what God left out. And if you look at Berjami, Gassman, and all that, I don't think they've got the heart, mate, the actual heart to do it, right? But on the other hand, if you look at Barron and you look at Cameron, they have got the heart. There is no doubt about it. So he might be able to do something with them. I agree with Fox on that. He might be able to do something with them. But your Berjamis and your Gassman, they are what they are. There isn't putting a fight in their belly, mate. There's no in them to do it. And that's my problem, because this is going to be a fight. This season is definitely going to be a fight, mate. There's nothing to do with pretty football this season. There's everything to do with fight. And will he win?
The other part as well, Ox, is if you go on the basis that McInnes is going to play the 4-4-2, which is his preferred formation, where does the likes of Bajrami fit in? We've seen him play central, we've seen him play wide, and you couldn't say which is better position. So why have a player there that is going to be minimal game time because he simply doesn't fit into the system?
Aye. Listen, mate, look, I would imagine that you mentioned the players that we've talked about. In an ideal world, the club would like to get a few quid for them and get the, and I'm not saying major money, get the and get them after wage bill and wish them well and let them get a longer contract somewhere else. But you know, as you rightly pointed out, if you take Bajrami, he's not played enough football to judge him. Decent reputation, you know, and he's done bits and pieces, but you would look, you know, and I think you would wait, and maybe somebody would take him late on, and they'll be looking to make a deal, and they'll want us to subsidise some of it and take a hit, and that's the problem with these type of players that we've talked about over the years, and we have to get smarter with the contracts, Holbert. We seem to talk about this quite a lot over the years, eh?
I mean, we all see it. So the club, well, maybe the club before didn't see it, or didn't want to recognise it. But I think Cameron and his crew recognise it, saying this is not happening. We ain't doing this any longer, because you only can spend money for so long, and you need to get some return. And you need to look at it and say, right, again, we're spending. Obviously, it's always going to be the first team, the remains first team football's got a team is going to take the most money, wages wise, buying wise, and whatever else. But they're still going to have a return. And the return that we're all looking for is trophies. And the return the board are looking for is trophies plus bums and seats, ticket sellouts, all that, commercial, people want to invest, blah, blah, blah. And the only way you get that done is a winning team. So for a certain amount of time, they'll wear it. They'll not wear it forever, mate. They'll not keep going on that. We're going to spend millions of pounds on players that are just going to sit in the stand. That's pointless. That's completely pointless. Because we keep saying it's a rotation. The squad needs, in modern day football, it's all about rotation. And rightly so, because there's too many games. But if you've got a squad there that some players are no contributing nothing. I mean, we've got a 33-man squad. So we've got, I'd reckon about 11 players that don't do much. If some of them don't do nothing.
Well, aye. I mean, we'll talk about Big Sterling. I'll throw him in the mix. I've championed Big Sterling at times, Robert. And I still think his best spell for us was with Lundstrom in defensive midfield. His pace and his power, winning the ball, I thought that was his best form for us. But to coin that phrase, turn up for your work, for different reasons and unlucky, sprinklers and all sorts. But he's constantly injured, eh?
He is, mate. He is. I think that's probably what lets him down is his body and the injuries that he's had. And listen, coming back from injury is always tough, and you're always going to get niggles and kind of setbacks on that. But at a club like Rangers, you need to be available every game if possible, where possible. And we can't go in again. He falls into the bracket simply because of his commitment to game time. He can't really go a weekday and a weekend game back to back. If he does, it's maybe managed through minutes, substitutions, whatever. But you can't have that. You need players that are going to be 100% where possible. I know it's hard. It is football. It's a contact sport. You're going to get injuries, but he falls into that bracket. And I think he's another one, Knox, that's in his last year his contract as well. So yeah, either try and get him out the door now, or I think it's next summer he goes for nothing, because I don't see him being given an extension. He wouldn't merit it, in my opinion.
Did we not just give him an extension? We might have been for up to next summer. Clement gave him an extension, did he?
I think that was the extension. I think it's up till next year. I think this season was the deal it was meant to be, and it's extended to next year if I'm right. But another player, when you mentioned contracts, mate, is the likes of Cifuentes and Danilo. Danilo went out on loan last season to a Dutch team. They don't take up the option. Again, reports that he's going out on loan again with another option to buy. And I think there's some clause about game time there. Cifuentes goes on loan, no option taken up by Toronto. So you're still paying their wages even though they're on loan. Then you're coming back and you're back to square one simply because of the contract given at that time.
Aye,
That's a massive mistake.
And I think Danilo's got, is it 2 or 3 years or something? It was a 5-year contract, wasn't it? No, 2 years left.
2 years, mate.
Aye,
2 years from
yeah.
this summer.
Aye, he's going to go. He's going to go, and it's going to be like rinse and repeat. You're going to see the same thing next year. They'll come back. Nobody's taking up the option because they're not signing a contract because nobody's getting them anywhere near the door. We're getting them. Albert, and I'm not having a go. I'm just being realistic.
Well, that's the way he's looking at. He's looking at that. Nobody's going to pay me in this though, so I've got 2 years left of that door, and I'm not going to get up because he knows after the 2 year he's going to sign for somebody else, a free agent, and he's still not going to get the door he's getting now. So his time for big earning is over. Same with Cifuentes. His time is over. Same as Matondo. They all knew that. That's why they'll not get up, and that's us trapped for self, mate. But again, it's one of the catch-22 situations. If you don't pay the money and get a long contracts, they'll no come. Well, I think we've learned our lesson then. Well, no, they don't come. You're not. That's fine. We'll no sign you because it's. I don't know how many times it's no worked out, but the percentage of no working out to working out is, I would say, it's pretty even, if no earn on the side of no working out for these long-term contracts and big money, because we've lost millions and millions and millions of pounds of that doing it this way. I know it's football. I know they've got to get a contract. I know all that. At the end of the day, let's Cifuentes or what do you call him, Danilo. Danilo is unlucky, but Danilo wanted to play for us. Danilo was a good player. But he took 2 horrendous injuries, and that's what curtailed him. So, from his point of view, I've got a wee bit more sympathy towards him. Cifuentes and Davis and all these type players, Matondo and Roof and all that, I've no sympathy for them. They just sat there and bled the club dry, basically. And that is a big part to do with ourselves. As you say, we need to sort these contracts out. We can't enter into these agreements again. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. We've got to have these players. If they don't want to be, they come up, try it, don't want to be here, we can get rid of them. We can move them on. But it seems to be we sign ourselves into a corner that we can't move them on. And then they're not prepared to move because they need the money. Because as I say with the Danilo, their big earning days are coming to an end, and they know it. So they're going to maximise it. Obviously, I don't blame them for that, mate. I don't blame them at all.
Anyway, talk about big earners. We've been going by our Jim. Evening, Jim.
Good evening, lads. All right, Ox, Robert, Albert, how's things? All right?
How we doing, mate?
Good.
How we doing?
No bad, no bad.
How was the holiday?
It's all right, mate. I'm still here. I'm just listening there. Robert said 2 up front. See on the 2 up front. Who do you think the 2 up front will be? I know these pre-season games are all about getting your match sharpness and all that, but I've been a wee bit concerned with the lack of goals that's coming for up the top. A few sitters been missed again. But as Albert says, I think this defence needs sorted out because I think we've been cut open far too easy.
Oh, I think we need 3 centre halves in, mate, and then we'll take it from there. And the forwards, once they hopefully get their shooting boots on, take off. I'll be interested to see what happens. What we got, we'll get 4. I'm assuming Danilo's going to be off, Robert. So you've got Big German, Big Samiti, Majovsky, Shanklin, yeah. You know, so you've got 4, which is maybe the ideal number you'll need. So it'll be permanently 2 before. There's reasons why they could all play together. And, you know, if you maybe want to change your shape in games, or maybe people will get different strengths. There's not a lot of mobility in that 4. You know, they've all got pluses to their games, but there's not a lot of mobility. Robert?
It's certainly be interesting, Jim, to see who he goes with as the favoured 2. But I think, as Ox is saying, there's going to be games where it could be a Shanklin and Chermiti, or a Shanklin and Nadiri, or even Majovsky. A lot of people have said that Majovsky might turn up this season because McInnes again worked for him previously. Could he get the best of him again? I know you're talking a few years ago, but his gameplay, his style, did it suit Majovsky more this season? As Ox said as well, mate, I think there's differences to each player's game. Nadiri's certainly get the work rate around the pitch. He can kind of drop deep, he can hold it up, link it up. Shanklin, we know, he's got goals in him. He knows the league inside out. he's going to enjoy playing for the club that he supported as a boy. He'll relish the moment. Chermiti, we've seen at times he can be the best finisher. Sometimes you can see him as the worst finisher. And then Miovski goes back to what can we see Miovski this season? Is it the Miovski of old? Is he a bit part player, like in a rotation striker? There's options there, mate. I think McInnes is content with the 4 going into the season. I'm content with the 4 going into the season. As I said, I think there's differences to each game, but it'll be interesting to see if he has a favoured 2, because I think they could all work well with each other in certain games.
Listen, if big Chermiti turns up, Jim, and you get Chermiti for January at the end of the season, you're going to have good numbers in your hand. If you get Chermiti for the start of the season to January, all there.
There's two things I think is going to happen. I think it's going to pair them up anyway. I think it's going to be horses for courses. So I think it's going to pair Chermiti and the Dairy together. I think it's going to pair Shanklin and Miovski together for certain games. But if everything works out for big Chermiti, they're all going to revolve around Chermiti. It's going to be Chermiti, and they're going to just bring them in and out to suit Chermiti. Who can actually play with them depends on the opposition as well. They'll bring them in. But to start off with, I think they'll do the pairs. They'll pair them up. So they're going to go 2 up front. So they're going to play the 2 that will start. It's the 2 that will start. So like Shanklin and Miovski will start, and then Big Chermiti will come on. But if Big Chermiti gets to the player we think he is, which I think he is that they're all going to revolve around him. The 3 of them will revolve around him.
Possibly, mate. Possibly. Jim, and you come, bro?
I think it's going to be interesting. I think the midfield thing, I know he's kind of brought all the midfielders in, but see the big man scored a couple of goals underneath there, and then I'd like to see Big Chuck Tucci playing a wee bit further forward than sitting away deep the way the guy was. Because when he came in, again, another one at the start of his thing, he looked as if he was going to do the part, then all of a sudden, to me, I thought he dropped too deep. Scored a couple of cracking goals underneath, albeit against in a friendly, but I liked McInnes' attitude with these games that he's picked. These games were played by a wee bit of tempo against teams that weren't hanging back against us. So, see how it goes.
Aye, listen, when he first came in, he done okay, and he's formed dipped a bit, and we brought him in, he played a lot of football, way the season had been for them, and maybe it just peaked. Don't want to write him off, he's big boy, plays midfield, and about the pitch, sometimes he didn't look the best passer of the ball, but maybe gave us a physical presence that we lacked in there, but you've got to do it, and one of his goals last night was a peach. Albert, then Robert.
Aye, he was a player. You can see there's a player in the boy. Trouble is with him is if we get the midfielders that's being suggested, you might even struggle to get in the team. I mean, disregard Diomande and Raskin and Barron and Cameron. He might struggle, and he get bought to replace some of them and take over and be the man. And for a wee while he was the man. He looked really good. But again, Raskin didn't like it, didn't want to play. He didn't want to play with the position that you get told to play, and hence what happens. And we're asking, it always happens. But I watched him scoring the goals. He didn't look too happy either. He was wandering about with his head down. I'm saying, what is wrong with him? There was something wrong with him. They scored the goal, and it was all right. We scored that goal. Back up the park now. Back to your position. There doesn't seem to be much joy in the camp. I can't see much joy in them at all. So it might all change. It probably will all change. But I like Big Tucci. I think he's a good player. I really do. I think he's a cracking player. But again, as much as we're bringing in defensive mid. All I hear is defensive midfielders. How many defensive midfielders do we need? I'm looking for a bit of flair, a bit of skill, a bit of playmaking here. I think that big boy could do a wee bit of that to push him forward, right enough. But defensive midfields. Keep getting defensive midfields, and we keep losing goals. I don't understand that at all. I don't get that logic.
Yes, but what does the Serbian play then, Robert? What part of midfield? Where did you hear? He can play 6, 8. Yeah. What does that mean?
From what I've seen online,
Do you make chances and take chances, or do you sit in front of centre halves? That's it for me.
from what I've seen online, Dragojevic is more like a ball-winning midfielder, getting the ball out to the guys who can create.
Defensive midfielder, Albert.
Pretty much, mate. Aye,
Told
pretty
you,
much.
right? Dan Neil, defensive midfielder. Tuchmanic, defensive midfielder. I tell you, how many do we need? Oh, other boy, the Norwegian boy, is he Norwegian? Was he playing in Norway? There's a Dal guy. What is he?
He's more final
Winger.
third. He's more
He's
attacking
more of a what?
midfielder.
I felt that's what the issue was with our team last year. We were playing with A2-6s and it was killing us. Sitting in front of you.
I agree.
And Thraskin was basically dropping in between the back two or back three or whatever it was. I felt that's what killed us. And again, I've seen a lot of comments on about people going on about these new guys, they can't pass and all the rest of it. Did anybody watch the Rangers midfield last season? Because they killed us more times than anything else. We picking the wrong pass and we were through on teams, 2 and 3 on, 2 and whatever else, and they were losing the ball and all of a sudden they broke on us. But again, I think Ox, I think you're right. It needs to be sorting these centre halves out.
I think he's trying, mate. I think he's trying. Hopefully there'll be a bit of movement, mate. I don't doubt he knows what he wants. But if you're trying to get your first choice and second choice and your third choice, and you're sitting waiting before you move to your fourth choice, the football world's been a wee bit of hold. It's starting to maybe go back to normal now. So we'll see where it goes, mate. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. Before we played in D United, and as Albert rightly says, you might not even see your team or the group of your best 11 to after the season started, which seems bizarre, but it's just modern football, Jimmy.
Yeah, as I saying there about players don't want to leave. The player, the power's on the player now. Clubs give guys contracts because they're forced to give these guys contracts or you're not be signing. It's simple as. But
I would go a different way altogether. Me and Albert have talked about it, Albert.
Aye.
I would go a
What we
different
talked
way.
about.
I would actually give him. This is going to contradict a lot of the stuff I've said over the years, Robert. I would actually give them more wages if they were in the team performing, winning, whatever you want to call it. And when you give them a contract, but they're basic, or maybe you have a basic, an injured fee, a squad fee, and then the team fee, because then the manager's got a bit of control. What we've got, what modern football's got, the manager has no control really on these multi-million pound salaries. And if you get people who are just going to sit, what can you do? You're paying them, but if you were getting, I don't know, say 40 grand, which seems ridiculous, it's not a lot of money, but it's to me and you, Robert. And you were getting that a week, but if you weren't in the team and you weren't picked for the squad, you were only getting 5. What would Mrs. Robert say to you?
I think the contract
Get your backside in that team.
I think they only should get paid their bonus money when they leave. You know what I mean? So if the club want you to leave, you don't want to leave, you lose your bonus money. But you do leave, you get your full bonus money for the period of time you were at Ibrox or playing. You need to have an incentive to say, we're making a decision here. We say you go. If we say you're going, you're going.
You have no control, mate. Absolutely.
None at all. None at all.
Jim?
There's no chance that players are going to sign any kind of contracts, guys. I think they need to be pretty clear on that. But I think
but if you were going to sign a contract for 20 grand a week and somebody said they'll give you 40, but you need to get yourself in the team, would you ever go?
Aye, probably, aye. Again.
But see, Jim, the problem, they've all signed their contracts. They've all signed their contracts if the owners of the clubs all get together and say, this is a contract. And they all come up with contracts and say, these are the standard contracts we're going to give you all the football players. They will then decide to sign the contract, because if they don't, they're not playing football.
Days
So-
all went out the window with the Bosman, unfortunately, guys.
I know they went out the window for that side of it, so they can leave whenever they want to leave. But you've got to bring some control back to the club. You can't just have it all one way, and it is all one way at the moment. But it's not today with the players. Now the players' union will get involved in it, obviously, but the club owners need to get involved in it as well. They need to sit back and say, right, no, we're going to get a standard contract, and this is the way it's going to be. But again, you'll get other clubs saying, "Oh no, we'll sneak players off you. Then we'll take players who we want because we're not going to give them these contracts." But for the benefit of your club and for the benefit of football, you need to start reducing the power some of these players have got, because it's look the state we're in now. All the clubs out with the Premiership.
I'd say it's too late. I think it's too late. I think it's gone, mate.
Well, you might be right, Jim. You might be right. I'm not saying don't buy them. If you get 50,000 people turning up and want to see you play, and you're part of a successful team, you're due X, Robert. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is to get a bit of control for the manager and to get a bit of control for football.
It doesn't sound like the most far-fetched sort of idea, to be honest, Ox, but I think Jim's kind of right. That will not be allowed, but I get what you mean, and I think it is a good way, as you say, get control for managers and clubs, because if you've got a player injured for 9 months and you're paying 40 grand a week, there's no use. The player's injured. Unfortunately, it could be a long-term injury. As I said, 9 months, you do a cruciate. That's
He's
it.
unlucky. I'm not
But
saying,
you're still
I'm
paying
not
you.
saying I'm not saying give him 5 grand a week. I'm saying that you would have a different skill for that. But if you're not getting you're fit and not getting selected, because you're not performing, or your attitude's stinking, or you're terrible at training, that's a different level, mate. And that's what you've not got any control. Somebody for injury, that's all for debate. I'm sure we will be discussing during the international break, but I'm not being radical. I think that to get control, and they still get their contracts, and they can still be earning crazy money. You know, it might be that in that English Premiership, your basic's 100 grand a week. But if you're in the team and you're performing, and you'll get £300,000 a week.
You certainly see the injuries go down every season, that's for sure.
Aye. I don't know. I don't know if there's an easy answer, but there you go. Mad thoughts. Anyway, Jim, I said when the boys came on at the start, having a go at the 2 previous managers last year, I don't know how Derek's going to turn out. However, it just looks a better fit, mate.
Aye, hopefully. I've stayed on here for weeks, man. We'll all agree. We need Rangers back, didn't we? We need Rangers traditions and whatever else. But we want a winning team.
Aye. That's what we want. A consistent winning team. Alba?
Aye, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, we're starved of it for years. That's all we want. We're wanting Rangers competing in every competition the way we used to compete in every competition. We're more than a fair chance of winning it as well. At the moment, it doesn't seem we get any chance of winning anything. We just turn up like a run-of-the-mill Scottish team. We win, we don't most of the time. That's got to change, mate. Especially the budget, the size of the club. This is stupid. A two horse race in your country, and we're like a whipping dog here for every club in the Premiership. Even some of the clubs in the lower divisions, but we seem to be the whipping boy for the Premiership. Everybody has a pop at Rangers. Big Rangers, but you're no big when they want to beat you. When they want to beat you, you're big, but they don't. When you win so what? It's not a great big deal. But we need to get back to taking our own business in hand, get control of ourselves, and start winning these football matches, because it's nonsense now. It's way beyond what a joke now. It's just everybody's getting frustrated and fed up beyond belief now. Some of these young boys, I'm not even saying are good Rangers winning, sustained winning streak, let alone winning trophies. You're getting to the stage, you win 3 games in a draw, and it's considered, we're doing really well, and you're getting it. Basically, I used to watch Rangers winning 10, 12. So I watched them 40-odd games, went 20-odd, 40-odd games, something like that. I can't remember. In a row. You start saying, look, that's what we're used to. No this we win every, oh, we're going to Motherwell, oh no, let's panic, or we're going up to Inverness Cali, oh, it's really difficult there, we're going to Kilmarnock, it's a plastic pitch, let's all panic. All these days need to go out the window, mate. We just need to go on with this. Get the sleeves rolled up and get beasted into it, as the saying goes. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to start ranting. I feel a rant coming on. I'm going to
Oh,
stop.
I'm sure you do, mate. You can work one up. It's only pre-season, mate.
I know, I'm warming up. That's a half a rant.
Robert, you mentioned jokes of Scottish football. We've seen that decision this week, mate. Eventually.
Aye, we did, mate. We did. Season's not even started yet properly, and they've already come out with some ludicrous decision already that's impacted Motherwell, and I'm sure we are going to get a brunt of it on Wednesday. It's Derek McInnes's hearing for his comments at the tail end of last season, so nobody will be surprised to see whatever outcome that's going to be. I think you'll be more surprised if there's a leniency given, which isn't going to happen. But again, already comments from last season dragged on to this season right at the start. Something that could have been dealt with right at the end of last season drags on over the summer, and by sure they come out and give a Motherwell player a 4-game ban and fine Motherwell £5,000, I think it was, for a social media post, which doesn't do anything. I've seen the image that they were reported for. Doesn't do anything against the rules, in my opinion. And they give a guy a 4-game ban. Well, they've just set a precedent for themselves.
But for telling the truth.
Exactly. Exactly. But that's them. They've made that decision. I think whether Motherwell are going to appeal it or not, I don't know if they can. Not really looked into it too much. It's not today with us, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, if that's the way they're going to go this season, well, we can be sure to see some headlines through another year.
Yeah, Jim.
I'm just laughing. I left a few comments on some of the social media threads, and the fans here, clubs, all the teams need to unite. All the teams need to unite. Rangers have been telling them about it for years, and we've been ridiculed for it, for telling them what's going on in Scottish football. Absolute shambles. They reap what it's so. They roll over and get their bellies tickled and everything else. It's their own problem. I know we were all saying shout at the back end of last season, our Rangers should say this, Rangers should say that. That was Hearts and Motherwell's fight. That was your fight. And they shat themselves again. Now they want everybody to back them. Motherwell shouldn't pay the fine. I don't think they should pay the fine. But they reap what they sow. That's all I can say.
I get that, mate. I get it. Understand, you know. They're too quick. They've got it wrong, mate. And I'll not admit it. They've got it wrong, and I'll not admit it, you know. And they've been worked with some fans online, see the people on an online radio show. Albert.
The problem you've got is, I mean, that affected the Peels across the city, and it affected Hearts, and it affected Motherwell. Rangers had nothing to do with this. Absolutely zero to do with this. And we've had decisions against us all season. 20 odd goals disallowed, 18 goals or something in the league disallowed. No, I mean, we've had our issues, but nobody backed us up. Nobody said anything. No, not an outcry or nothing. Everyone there's an outcry. Sounds right. I said it by myself. It's no your fight. It was their fight. It's Hearts' fight, and it was Motherwell's fight. And they ran away. They just ran away, mate. So they're leaving it down to us again. As far as I'm concerned, it's no Rangers' fight, because McInnes was with Hearts manager. The ban should be on the club, no the manager. The manager comes to us. Now we're now dragged into this, saying our manager could be banned at the dugout. So this affects our club, and we nothing to do with it. I've also heard that they're going to blame Rangers for the riot, carry on the all coming on the park. Again, nothing to do with Rangers, that. Everything to do with the Poles, everything to do with the SFA, and everything to do with an SPFL, and everything to do with that mob across the road. But no Rangers are getting the blame for that, I know. I hope Tavernier is lawyered up. I really do, mate. I hope he's got the lawyers all standing by going, we're not taking any crap this time. I hope that we take them on, mate. This is the time now. Take them on now. If you don't take them on now, you're not going to take them on ever. So take them on now and just say, and I hope it gets to the stage that we'll stop Scottish football. We will bring it to a halt, mate, to get this sorted out. Because all this mob need to get kicked out of their positions. They're hopeless, mate. They're incompetent clowns. And that column should be kicked out of his position. I'll tell you, apart from all the decisions, why he should be kicked out of his positions. He's in charge of the referees, and part of his job, if not his whole job, was to improve the refereeing in this country. Not one referee went to the World Cup. That in itself, he should have been sacked for. That means that he's not improved anything in 2 years he's in that job. So why is he sitting in a job? Your job's to improve the referees. Not one referee went to the World Cup. Not one.
Why is he sitting in a job? Why is he
exactly, mate? I mean, who's measuring his performance and saying, you're a clown,
Why?
mate. You're an absolute
Is
clown, you need to go.
Why is he sitting in a job? Why?
Exactly. So then, but as far as I'm concerned, that's going to be our biggest fight this year. And nothing's changed against regarding all them. You need to get them out of the jobs, mate. It's as simple as that. We need to get them out of these jobs. They've been in there for years, mate, causing nothing but hassle. Hidden lost emails, we're holding money back that the government had allocated unless you agree with what we're saying. And it's been going on for years and years, holding teams leagues when it weren't won, bringing a Scottish Cup into the next season, taking the rule book and throwing it in the bin. The oldest cup in the football cup in the world.
All right, mate. Hold fire there, because it's time for a tune.
Marching down the Paisley Road west, the doors and the windows open wide. You will hear the people cheer, the Glasgow Rangers boys are here. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. Blue is the colour, football is the game. We're all together, Glasgow Rangers is our name. For we are the best team in all Scotland, and Glasgow Rangers is our name. So bring on the Celtic, your Hibs and Aberdeen, your Dundee United, we're the best you've ever seen. We play hand on heart, God save the Queen. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. As we go marching down the Paisley Road west, the doors and the windows open wide. You will hear the people cheer, the Glasgow Rangers boys are here. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. Blue is the colour, football is the game. We're all together, Glasgow Rangers is our name. For we are the best team in all Scotland, and Glasgow Rangers is our name. So bring on the Celtic, your Hibs and Aberdeen, your Dundee United, we're the best you've ever seen. We play hand on heart, God save the Queen. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. It's Glasgow Rangers for me.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. We did it there. Enjoyed it. Albert, carry on, mate.
And mid-flow was there. You get what I'm saying?
Aye, I do.
If you don't take them on the new, mate, we know this. All the other teams' backs are up now. They're all seeing it now for what it is. The whole nation, all up and down the country, are all seeing it. The football community in Europe and in the world have seen it now. Everybody see what's going on. It's downright cheating, and it's downright corrupt, and it needs to be sorted, mate. Again, I come back to the I keep asking you and anybody else can help me here. How do you get rid of him? How does Doncaster leave his job? How do you actually get him out his job? How do you get that
I know how
out
he
of his
leaves.
job?
I know how he leaves his job. Very wealthy.
Oh, aye. No, I mean, so, but if you decide, who decides that he's going? What is the procedure? How do you get rid of him? Who calls the shot? Who agreed to give him the contract he's on as well? And Maxwell, don't forget that clown. That clown needs to go and all. A clown that gave that manager, that crap manager Clark, a 4-year contract, going to a World Cup before the ball's kicked. He's gave him a 4-year contract. What clout? And then he chucks it. Chucked it. He said chucked it before he went to the World Cup. But there you go. I could go on and on and on, mate. I'll let you have a shot at it yourselves.
That's how they didn't let him run the relay, Robert, because he wouldn't pass the baton.
To join the SFA, they don't pass the baton either. But he's right, Buttocks, because you look at the people who are in power, and you can't say the game has improved at all for a number of years, and they've been there for quite some time, each respectively. But nothing's changed for the better for Scottish football as a country, as club level, youth level, referees, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to put into Scottish football, nothing has improved. VAR was meant to be brought in to help the referees. It's made the referees worse. It's made them weak, in my opinion. They rely too heavily on it. The decisions they make on field in the VAR room get scrutinised by ourselves, other clubs, other officials. Now is the time, as Albert says, to challenge it. And I think with Jim Gillespie, we've seen how shrewd he can be. I don't think he'll let anything that comes our way lie. And I think that's a big change from previous seasons as well. I think he's the guy that will mount the challenge to them. And whatever outcome is against them that we can get done, that'll be for the better of Scottish football, because they'll no longer be in a job. But what I would say is, if Willie Collins no in the job, it's head of refereeing. Which one of the officials currently gets it? You're looking at possibly a Kevin Clancy.
Oh, Casey,
you've not improved it.
KC in the Sunshine Band would get it.
But that's what I'm saying. You ask for Colm to be removed, he goes, and based on experience, you're looking at possibly a Kevin Clancy. That's not going to improve it.
Oh, no, what you're looking for is a professional manager to come in and manage it. That's what you're looking for. These clowns can't do it themselves because one's as bad as the other. So there's no use promoting them because they're all crap. Every one of them. You've not got one referee you could turn in this country. You could turn and say, decent referee, very fair man. That, and he's a good referee. And even the linesmen, some of them are completely and utterly incompetent. The VAR team, forget about that, and forget about the VAR system. That's a joke. That's just a joke, mate. That's just a cop out. They've used that as a cop out. I mean, apparently the game against Motherwell with that the appeals. That in itself, you look at that one decision, and there's that many holes you can pick on that to find corruption. Just totally incompetent clowns trying to cover their own backsides, mate. They're trying to just cover it up before it even happened. And you're looking at a total referee that's been totally compromised, and that beaten. That is a clown. That guy should just go, I'm no refereeing again. That's me done, mate. Retire his whistle and walk away, mate. That's the decent thing that clown should do. But then you've got that corner as well. You've got the people in VAR, Celtic supporters in VAR, and they're asking them, is that a penalty? It's a penalty. It's a penalty, aye. So he's blowing for a penalty. He doesn't even look at the screen. He asked them, is that a penalty? It's a penalty. But that's the Celtic. He basically walked into the Celtic end at the park and asked like the supporters, do you think that was a penalty? Because they would have said aye as well. It's nuts,
more in and out, mate. More in
and out. And there's another one, the more in and out. You've watched
more out and in.
You watched the offside or the one, their first goal at Parkhead against us. I mean, how's the linesman not putting his flag up? Even though the VAR might overturn it, he's got to put his flag up. He doesn't put his flag up. Who is it? Connor, a Celtic supporter. I'm not putting my flag up. And there's 3 of them offside. You've got to put he doesn't know anything about clear sight or anything like that. That's not his job. His job is to see who's offside. And 3 of them are clearly offside. Doesn't put his flag up. Oh, I knew it all goes down to VAR. And I see sign a letter. Butland could see it. That player's known his line of sight. The linesman doesn't know that. So that flag didn't go up. So that tells you it's corrupt. You should put your flag up, but it isn't. So it's corrupt then. You're just ignoring a blatant offside. Even then, it would have went to VAR. The goal would have went to VAR and let them decide it, but you put your flag up. No, it didn't happen. It does not happen, mate. It's nonsense. And it's going to carry on next season as well. Don't think for a minute, that lying wee Irish tit is their manager. That wee clown, I was talking to the referees before the big game, you're saying. wait a minute, I thought that was against the rules. I thought any manager could have a private conversation with referees. I know probably goes on all the time, but he's telling you now. I was speaking to them before it, the week before the game. What's going on there? What is happening here?
Did it pass the sniff test, Robert?
No, I'm sorry, mate.
No, far from it.
No, that's my issue, mate. And taking Jim's point before he left us, mate, the rest of the Scottish football, so I think some of them have woke up, but they've all not woke up, you know.
Because behind the scenes, the brown envelopes are getting passed about, mate, as we speak. I mean, that clown up at Inverness, no Inverness, Dundee. I mean, he's proved that point. No, I mean, the email that disappeared, it was there. Oh, I definitely putting that in to stop them getting that league. That shouldn't happen. Why all of a sudden that disappeared? So in the background, there's conversation within conversation. The conversation not to help Rangers when they were in the UEFA Cup final. Don't help Rangers. Phone calls straight into the SFA office. Don't help them.
It's all come out, innit? It's all come out. You know, but it needs the other clubs to wake up, Robert. We could be right, but as it sit without support and justice and the majority, well, you'd like to think everybody would wake up and smell the coffee, you know. But I don't think they all have done, because they're blinded by their hatred of somebody people who don't care about them. They have no hatred towards them. They don't really feel motivated with them. But some clubs have got themselves in this rivalry. It's not really there for us.
No, you're right. You're right. And you hope that they wake up and smell the coffee, as you said there, mate, to realise what's going on, because it's affected them. And more so, obviously, Hearts and Motherwell impacted massively last season. More so Hearts than anybody in terms of going for a league title. They never lost a league title. That was taken off them. You can argue it all day long with other clubs and supporters, but that's the fact. It was taken from them. And we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to come. So now you realise you've got to go and do something. But as we have said for a number of years, this is what's going on. Nobody wanted to listen then. And all of a sudden, they're sitting going, well, maybe you're right. We need to do something now. Well, you had your chance. Why should we support it? At the end of the day, why should we, as a club, support the other clubs to benefit Scottish football? I think you asked this before, Ox. I mean, Scottish football doesn't care about us. Why should it be us?
That's what happens when you're a leader. Right, here's one for you. Here's one. We're going to put this to the listeners as well, yeah. Well, as we sit this now, Nico Raskin's your player. And he sort of plays, well, he played most of the time this number 6 role for us. Would that be fair? Would that be fair? Maybe I don't even know. I think his best games were when he was getting involved further forward, but that's when he played best. And Lewis Ferguson, the guy that we're rumoured to be, and I'll say that with a capital R. But next, who would you rather have in the team, just for a bit of fun? Robert?
Ferguson.
Why?
Number of reasons. He can be more of an attacking threat, I think, than Raskin. He's got more consistency within his game. He's a leader. He's been captain with Bologna. But he's one of us. People talk about Rangers culture and standards and tradition. There's a guy who could walk into that dressing room, learn from his dad, his uncle, but make his story as a Ferguson at our club. He gets it. He knows it. He lives it. He breathes it. Although he's in Italy, you hear his dad, Derek, talking about it. He'll sit and watch all the Rangers games. He's got his Rangers gear on. He's been at games. He's one that gets it. And a bit of nostalgia. A Ferguson back at Rangers on the pitch with an armband on. You take it. So for me, it's Ferguson, mate. And I think there's more sell on as well. I know we're talking about Raskin going now with a hefty fee. If Ferguson was to come in, be a success, be that driving force in the middle of the park, lead us to success, he could be on the verge of another big move elsewhere before his career's over.
So.
Or he might just fancy staying here, mate. You never know.
If he was waste for 3 years, then I'll take him to about 30.
It's just a number these days, mate. You see the way figures go these days with modern football.
No,
But to answer your question, mate, Ferguson over Raskin for me.
Right, okay. I don't know if it'd be more creative, but there you go. I'll give you a lot of these things. Albert, hypothetical, I know.
If that's my only choice, Ferguson or Raskin, I would take Ferguson for one reason only, and it's for the both of them. The reason covers both of them, and the reason is Raskin is a bad influence in the dressing room, a completely bad influence in the dressing room. He's all about him, and Ferguson wouldn't be all about him. He'd be all for the club and all for the team, where Raskin's all for him.
Aye. I can understand that. Raskin seems to have a wee ding dong with, well, let's come
Everybody.
on, Martin, and roll at the finish, if we're honest, you know.
Even Ferguson.
Aye, I think it was it Dodds, a mechanic, came out and said it was difficult to manage, wasn't it?
We did.
Oh, listen,
There's a
again,
few.
I'm not saying that Ferguson's a better player, but I'll go back to what I said at the start of the show, Robert, where I talked about it just feels better with McInnes. It looks a better fit. And people might say that Raskin might be the better player, mate. They might go on to prove that, might not. But it might just be somebody's a better fit for us, mate.
Of course, and I think that's a lot of boxes that Ferguson ticks because of who he is and his upbringing and his involvement as a youngster and being a fan. I think that obviously wins over Raskin. You spoke in the last show that we were on. Players say, we understand and we get it. They don't. These foreigners, they don't. They might think they do when they get a taste of it in Old Firm fixtures or on winning runs in Europe. But being a boyhood fan, they get it. Playing for the club that you've supported, they 100% get it. And the other thing is, Lewis Ferguson is a supporter as much as we are. He's hurt as much as we have over the years, and he would take that into his performances, I think, and drive him forward. What about yourself, Fox? Would you have Ferguson or Raskin?
Does that always work, mate? Then you're playing with a heart and over the head, all better.
I mean, I understand what everybody's saying about bringing these Rangers guys in and the Rangers supporters and all that. It's all true, right? But my problem is it's quality, mate. It's always going to be quality, mate. We need better quality. And if that's a Rangers supporting midfielder, a football player, that's fine. That's great. I just love it. But it's quality foremost for me. Attitude and quality, I suppose. It doesn't always follow that the attitude of the Rangers supporter is right as well. They can follow their tree just as well as any other player can follow their tree. Yes, and you're right, mate. Emotion can overtake you, and that can be a hindrance. It can be a benefit in it, but also can be a hindrance. But I'm just looking for quality. I mean, I'm looking for. You're watching the World Cup and these good teams. You're watching them pass the ball. But I don't like the style of football. It's just boring. But you can't argue with their passing ability and their vision and their technical ability. They're superb players. It's just the way these coaches have got them playing, but they are superb players. So you look at that standard and you go, right, we're never going to get near that standard because we can't afford that standard. But it doesn't stop you striving to get the best of the calibre of player you can get. And some of the players we've got are just and we've had over the last few years are simply not good enough. And that's a big problem why we don't win any trophies as well, if not the biggest problem. But we need to get that right. So I don't care where they come from, mate, to be honest with you, as long as they're good football players.
Aye, I know what you mean. I know. Look, my preference would be a Rangers supporter, Robert, but it doesn't always pan out, mate.
No, of course, no transfers a guarantee, whether it's a Scottish player, a Rangers supporter, a foreigner. It's always a gamble with every transfer. But you look at the players we've brought in, you look at what Kavanagh said we've missed. Lewis Ferguson ticks a lot of boxes of the things we've missed. It adds that he's a Rangers supporter. That helps, of course. But in terms of leadership, mentality, a lot of the things questioned last season, I think he's a better fit than Raskin in terms of attitude as well. What's your preference?
What he did say which I agree with. If it came down to a choice of two players of similar in calibre of talent, right, ability, and one was a Scotsman. He didn't say Rangers, but he said Scotsman, and one was of another nationality. Will always opt for the Scotsman. That's what he said. Mate. Trying to bring the Scottish and the Rangers identity back to the club. That's what he said. And I agree with that. That's fair enough. I can't argue with that one. If they're similar, if the Scots better, well, the Scot you're going to get just through his own talent. I agree with that. If it's similar, and we're what I'm not too sure about Ferguson, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's on a similar par with Raskin. I would say he's on a similar par. I don't know that for a fact because I've not seen enough of Ferguson, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So in that case, I would take Ferguson. And that's what he's saying going forward. That's what we're going to be doing. They're going to assess the player. So, for instance, we had two right backs at the calibre. McCorry, he's picking McCorry. Fair enough. But me, honestly, I want a wee bit step up for McCorry. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm only saying that because I've not seen the boy for years, but he might come out and surprise us and went, oh, he's really developed. He's a lot better player now than he was when he left. I'm hoping that's the case, mate. I really am hoping that's the case. But so, for Kavanagh's point of view, I get what he's talking about. He's trying to be fair to everybody, and he's trying to show you that he's got the heart. He's got the heart of Rangers close to his heart, and he wants the right thing to happen for the club. I don't disagree with him, but I think that's blind. When you get Rangers supporters in, is the wrong attitude. It's the right Rangers supporters in. It's no, I mean, take all us up here. We all play for Rangers. We all stand at the front door. I want to play. I'll run through a brick wall for you, but I'm not any good. That doesn't seem to matter with some of the support. They just want Rangers supporters or Rangers supporting football players into the team. I'm a bit more selective, mate.
Yeah, as I said, I'll say it again, Robert. My preference would be that. But we'll put the same questions out to the listener. Who would you have? Just on pure football and why you would have him. You know, we'll get Raskin, who's your player, and Robert said that he would bring Ferguson in, and so's Albert for two different reasons. And people will argue that he's not a better football player than Raskin. That's a valid point of view. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody's got any thoughts on that one. I'm not saying just about they two, but I think that there's a broader point that Albert makes, Robert.
There is, mate. There is a broader point to it. Always, as I said, it comes down to the quality of the player you're bringing in. Is it a better player than you're letting go? And that's for every position in every area of the park, whether it's a midfielder, defender, or striker. It's one thing we've not done well in over the years. There's been individuals in different positions, but collectively, as a club as a whole, it's something we've not done well enough, is replacing the quality. You only go back to 2 summers ago now, you lose Dessers and Iggyman, you replace them with your Chimity, etc. You don't get the goal return. Your wingers, you're not as influential. Your defence isn't as solid. It's evolution of modern football, but you've got to ensure that you're bringing in a better quality. Doesn't matter, the transfer fee can be 2 million, 22 million, as long as they're a better player than what you're letting go. And they can be successful.
I don't think you're ever going to get that, mate.
Not anymore, mate, no, but that's the way it should be.
You might get it occasionally. And you might get a gem. And you might get somebody similar, but you can't keep, you know, because there's that many factors in football and football players. For a start, just injuries, mate. You know, and loss of form, suspension, whether partnerships, what families settle, you bring them in, whatever it is, you know. But they might have more quality on paper, Albert. It doesn't always mean they'll do it on the grass, does it?
No, they're human beings. They're not robots. So you got to well, you really can't factor in. All you can say, you hope they're going to settle in. You hope they're going to hit their form, and you hope they're going to maintain it, and you hope they don't get injured, or if they do take an injury, it's no long-term injury. It's not just hope. It's all pie in the sky. That's why football's a crazy, but our sport, I suppose, a crazy business. Being spending this kind of money, splashing that about, and it's the biggest it's the biggest gamble, isn't it? You just don't know. You just really don't know till it all happens. That's why I keep saying building the team's not that easy. We're going to find out with the group of players we're going to put together the new them. Are they all going to go on with each other? Are they all going to? You don't have to all like each other, but are they all going to fit as a football team and go into the park and perform as a team? You just don't know. It's pie in the sky. You just don't know. But there again, what do you do? Well, there's a calibre of player plays in Scotland, and you'll get them up to a certain level. I agree with that, and you're not going to get them by that level because they're not going to entertain playing here. There's bigger fish to fry elsewhere for them, and there's better leagues to play in. So you got that to contend with. It's always been like that. No, I mean up here we blew it all up when Souness came up, and the board decided to say, all right, Rangers are going to flex some muscle here, and it made a big, huge wave right across Europe. Right across world football, actually, where we flex for muscles and says, we are a big club, just going to show you how big we are. Most of the world didn't know, and most of the people down in England didn't really understand. But it's soon fun out when you're sitting with the England goalkeeper, the England captain, and your team, your England right back. Trevor, what do you call him? Stevens on the right wing. Then Ray Wilkins comes up and signs. Then Graham Roberts comes up and signs. All these type of players. And then eventually Paul Gascoigne signs and Brian Laudrup. He's saying, good God, they're a big, huge club. Huge club. But that days are done, as we say. It's not just they're done, it's just that the Premiership's killed everything. They've killed everything. Stone dead. You can't get these romantic signings. You can't get football up here to go up to the next level and the next level again because it's never going to be allowed with the Premiership.
Funny you say that. There's not going to be that many Premier League players playing in that final, is there?
No, which is good, which is absolutely brilliant.
There's some, don't get me wrong, there's some, you know.
Well, who's got the most? Spain or Spain? I don't think Spain. Spain or
There's some, obviously, Rodri, you could do McAllister, you know a bad team with it. You know,
Fernandes.
The goalkeeper for Aston Villa, and the Spurs and the Man U centre halves. I suppose there's quite a few now that have started.
I'm going to say he's shooting his head argument down here.
There
is a few in there.
Right. I'll take that one back, Fox. Edit that out.
Well, just to help you out, mate, I'll give you a fact. The goal scorers from the World Cup, there's only been 4 from the English Premier League, and not one of them is English.
All right.
There you go.
We should stop calling that the English Premiership. They actually just rename that the Mongrel League.
All right. Who scored? Did the Bournemouth boys score? American?
Kane scored. Bellingham scored.
He plays in Germany. He plays in Spain. Listen to the question.
4 players from the Premier League scored at the World Cup, and none of them are English.
Oh, can I have a time to think? No?
Aye, take your time.
Haaland.
John McGinn, even though that was an own goal, wasn't it?
Aye.
Yep.
You giving him that goal, Robert?
Technically it's on target. It helped my equipment, so I'm going to have to.
Do you think that was on target?
Aye.
Albert?
I didn't see it, mate. I'm not a Scottish fan.
Up for debate, that one. Right, that's 1. 3 more. Anyway, we'll come back to it.
Haaland.
Yep.
Thank you. I was talking to myself there for a while.
I thought you were whispering. Fernandes.
Yep.
Who's that wee guy who plays for Brazil? Plays for, who does he play for? Does he play with Man City? Did he
Well, then
also-
help him out, Robert.
Can't think.
Anyway.
Can't think who you're thinking on there. You can have a time to think about it and let me know near the end. If any listeners want to come in as well with that question and answer, feel free.
3 or 4 for us. We'll settle for 75%. We don't want to be tapping the classic. Gives you too much pressure. All better, doesn't it?
But doesn't have. You have to sit at the front as well. No,
Oh.
don't like that. I like up at the back of the way. Yeah, smoke.
Yeah, don't. Interesting. Get back to us, mate. You know, these couple of bounce games, and I'll reserve judgment to see with the painful customers start coming in on Wednesday. I think you're entitled to see a wee bit a step up. I'm not saying that you're going to be the finished article. You know, we're playing, obviously West Ham didn't have a great season, but the way football is now, they're going to players that allegedly are at a better level than us. So I'll be interested to see the game pans out. A game of Cincinnati is a team from back in my history, mate. 1975. Looked as at the European Cup. People bit a shock. People were saying, oh, that should have never happened back at the time, and I've done some reading about it. And lo and behold, they got to the final and they lost. They were arguably the best team and lost again. At Hampden, Albert. Yeah.
Yep, I remember it. I was working up the Herald office at the time. Tillemans, that was the other one.
He's won.
That's us got the 4 then, huh?
That's it. And that's the start I seen from earlier on.
There you go.
Done and dusted.
Well done.
I remember like that final at Hampden. All the pubs were open late, remember?
Oh, I don't, mate. Thanks very much, but I don't.
At what age were you?
I'm a lot younger than you, brother.
Oh, yeah. Right. What did they keep saying when you were away? Does your dad want a drink?
That's the mirror.
It's happened a few times. Look. I'm saying, I'll ask him. So he's away, empty his bag first, but when he comes back, I'll ask him. Well, shout out to Steve and Norrie, by the way. I forgot to shout them out. Met them in the audience. Robert, you should have shouted out as well. You met them as well.
How many shouts did they get? They got a shout out last week. What do you think this is?
Did they?
Michael's cavalcade.
I was going to say,
I
he
didn't
kept
know
getting a
that.
wee shout out last week, guy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it did. He?
Funnily enough, they had the same opinion.
I'll give you a shout out at the £50 club. Kenny, Dougie, and Colin. I tried the old £50 trick on them, it didn't work. I get caught.
No luck, mate.
I know. Need to try harder. Right, what are we talking about?
Don't know.
Setting game.
Aye,
It's an
setting
ending
game. So, well, obviously, they've got a wee bit in the Rangers history. A lot of people have seen the bike in the trophy room, Robert.
Mhm.
Yes?
Yep. More famous than a Tour de France bike.
I think I just get an electric engine. I think I get an electric one for some of the hills, would you know?
What was the reason they gave us a bike?
Don't know, mate. Do you want me to see if I can find it?
I've opened one. I meant to ask that guy who was in there to say, why did we get a bike?
Maybe, obviously, that's that's one of the big events.
I don't think we got a bike. I think they knew it was government and went, no, better park that. Somebody was sick and brought that.
It just left it.
You better park that in there. That'll disappear if you leave
Just
it.
left it. Or the complete opposite. They left it outside and somebody put it in.
Not. Should we brought a bike with us?
Aye. So it's part of it's an end, part of Rangers history, Robert. Yeah.
Yep, well before my time, right enough. And I know you two can talk about it a wee bit, but before my time. But you go and do the tour, as you say, you see the bike, and the guy tells you about it. I think from what I remember, their sponsor at the time was the manufacturer of the bike, and they gave it as a gesture of goodwill. That's what I remember from the tour. That's what the guy told me when I done it. But a wee bit of history there. And again, it's a first chance of the support to see the players and mechanics in the dugout for the first time as well. And I know Jim came on earlier on and was a wee bit concerned with the friendlies performances and the clips we've seen, but Ibrox, good support, and I'd imagine be a good night for football. Hopefully the weather's still good and an enjoyable evening.
Listen, it's
I think we'll have hydration.
Aye,
That's a good night,
four
Robert.
quarters.
I think we'll have a hydration, aye.
We'll try
I
out
hope-
the 4 quarters, all better.
I hope not.
That's it. It'd be all right if they let the crowd go for hydration as well, and wouldn't mind that.
Aye, I'm hearing. I think I read the half time of the World Cup final is going to be 25 minutes.
Aye, no, half an hour, the half time.
Aye.
They've turned it into a Super Bowl. They've even get rings for the winners of the World Cup to the squad. They're getting rings the way the Super Bowl did.
They just took over, didn't they? They just took over.
Game's gone.
Going to say something there, but better know we're live.
The Bold Donald showed you how corrupt FIFA is, eh? I'll make a phone call.
Oh,
Bang. All changed there. There you go. That's how it's done.
I was mental. I just didn't add up. And by the way, I actually felt sorry for the American boy. I believe, according to the media, and I don't know this to be fact, but I read it, that he went and apologised and said he felt he should have been suspended. There you go.
Oh, well.
So, you know. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. Cincinnati and West Ham. Hopefully, obviously, with Bruges and Middlesbrough. I'll not say there's any of them as good as Bruges, because we know Bruges weren't a bad side, but it's still a reasonable test. We just want to see better than we've seen last year. I'm not saying we're going to win the 2 games 5-0, Robert, but we just want to see better, just to start like use that springboard as we go to Paradise. Yeah.
Well, of course, mate. Of course, as I said at the start of the show, the friendlies during pre-season, as much as you look at results, to me it becomes secondary in pre-season. It's all about the fitness and the team gelling together. And I think that's one thing that from the get-go against Bruges and Middlesbrough, we didn't see a team. We just saw 11 players on the park. There was no sort of chemistry or cohesion. And I think that's what you'll look out for this season in these 2 games coming up. And I dare say you'll see it, because there is still work to be done. But as long as you start to see, right, this is what he's going for, this is what he's building, this looks all right. Whereas last season, it wasn't. You were going, wow, this is a problem. And the league started, and it didn't start well. So, you take momentum from games as much as you can, of course. But as you know, I've said throughout the show, there's still work to be done. Games we played before the window shuts, you'll not see the finalised team until September. Then it's an international break, of course.
I don't know, mental, but there you go. Mental. Albert?
I can't wait that international break, but I'm looking forward to that. So I'll get tickets for that, whatever it is. It's going to be one of these stop-start seasons again, won't it? But again, it's I don't, as you said, I don't feel as bad getting into this season. And these friendlies that are coming up, as long as you say, are no like the Middlesbrough and the Bruges game, because that was embarrassing. That was completely embarrassing, mate. Both games totally and utterly outclassed, way outclassed. And you're saying, well, they're good teams, but they shouldn't be that far ahead of you. They shouldn't be. I mean, it was like wee boys. We were like wee boys playing them, and then it proved to be as the season progressed, and then a few of the good teams got holidays and just ripped us apart. Totally ripped us apart. So as long as it's not like that,
Bruges been one of them.
Bruges been one of them. Don't get me, Middlesbrough were going to have a good season as well. They were not a bad team, Middlesbrough. I don't mind them being good teams, but We didn't match them anywhere, mate. Not anywhere on the park. And that could have been any score they two teams wanted it to be, they two friendlies. I know it's only friendlies.
It wasn't the scores that were the problem, was it? You know, because I think we ended up, what was it? Was it 2 each and 2 each? I can't remember what the Bruges score was. Middlesbrough ended up, but we knew everybody watched it, knew we were lucky at times not to be 5 down and both games at half time, Robert.
Aye, that's when the worrying came right away. And you kind of, some people gave it the benefit of the doubt of, like, it's pre-season, but from the get-go, the Martin appointment, the way the team performed, there was nothing. You weren't looking at the score. You were just looking at the performance, and from there, the performances lingered for far too long. But I think we'll see certainly a difference, as I said earlier in the show. Looking at the videos, I know you can make anything from clips on YouTube or whatever, but the way they're performing in training, the intensity, the demand, the double sessions, certainly seems to be a step up than what was previously. And I think somebody said it before on the show, might have been Albert, or a couple of callers have said it. They've not seen a fit Rangers side all season or throughout the course of a season since Gerrard. You might see one this season.
Maybe just for the record, I wasn't saying Big Ray K was a daddy. I was only having a joke. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, maybe
saying Big AK was a daddy.
Yeah, maybe no all the time, just some of the time.
Oh, yeah, he is a daddy. I'll say it.
All the time or some of the time?
All the time, oh yeah. I hope he's listening.
No, but he will. You know.
He knows it's a joke.
But we want to see fitness. I don't think we felt that last season. I mean, you where we were gone, so we weren't ready. We want to see an appetite, which we never seen. And the result, arguably, second. If you play well and you pepper the goal and you're 2-1 up and somebody breaks away and scores in the last 5 minutes because you've changed all your team, doesn't maybe really matter that much. You maybe don't like to see it. But the way we played, I think we got, as I said, the Middlesbrough game, we got a draw. But we could have been 5 or 6 or anything doing it all the time. And we knew it and we watched it and we were scratching our heads, what is happening. So we hopefully we'll see a big improvement out there.
I think McKenna's hinted on it as well. We went 2-0 down against that mob last night. The way the boys come back and fought back, he said, I like that. He liked that. And I was like, because that probably could have ended up 3-4 as well. But they fought back and they showed a wee bit of spirit to say, no, we're not letting this happen. We'll get back into this game. We'll see what happens. That was great. That was great to hear them saying that. Because that last season, I mean, it's all right. Hindsight's a great thing. We all were concerned and all that. But once the season panned out and you seen what we actually had as a team, oh, it's frightening, mate. It's frightening. You say the signs were all there. We all get the warnings. We all the supporters that Martin had teams that Martin had managed, and then they watched the 2 friendlies, and you watched the standard of football and the standard of player we had. You're saying, Christ's sake, man, it can't be this bad. Surely it can't be this. But it turned out it wasn't that bad. So there you go. So we're looking this time to make sure it's hoping it's not going to be as bad as it was. Hope it can't be, mate. It won't be.
Anyway, we'll be joined by Billy. Evening, William.
Better late, never, lads. How's it going?
Aye,
Where have you been? Have you been sleeping there?
Oh, I'm up in the wool country, mate.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you find the flies.
I will trying to anyway. Aye, I'm up there. Aye. Oh, I was listening to Albert talking there about that rule with Derek McKinnon.
Don't listen to him, Billy.
Okay, listen, that's a bonkers rule, Albert. Right, I've just had a wee read at it there, mate. Right, and you're going to get a chuckle here. Right, it says the Scottish SFA treats a manager moving clubs as a contractual employment matter handled primarily under the Scottish Professional Football League SPFL rules and SFA articles. The governing body does not automatically discipline managers for switching clubs, provided they adhere to a contractual notice period and compensation agreements, right? But wait till you hear this. This is a belter. After a match,
against Morrell, McInnes publicly described the late penalty awarded to Celtic as disgusting, and it certainly was disgusting. The man was only telling the truth. So I take it the truth is taboo now in Scottish football or today's society, according to that. I was going to say something else here, but that clown show in at Hampden, and it was subsequently charged in the SFA disciplinary rule 72. Right, wait here, this will be rule 72, which covers public comments that imply bias, incompetence, or otherwise undermine the integrity of match officials. Right. And wait to hear this, but this is a belter, mate. Right. Any suspension or sanction imposed would apply while he was a Rangers manager, as the SFA disciplinary rule disciplines the. Wait, hear this now. Work this out. Make this make sense.
Just read
Disciplines.
that. Just read that.
Right. Disciplines the individual, not the club. So how's it not affecting the club if he's a manager of Rangers?
That is affecting your club. I get it, mate. I get it. I'm not surprised. I think I knew
Hey,
that.
That's an absolute topper.
I know. I think I knew that was the rule. I'm not sure that if you're suspended and you move clubs, I think the suspension might carry as well red cards, etc. If you get a 4-game ban or something, I think that can happen as well. So I'm not surprised. But what is wrong with the whole thing is, mate, what they said was factual. Yeah.
Of course.
Did they not try to implement that with a player that get a suspension up here and actually get transferred down to England, and they wanted the FA down in England to honour the suspension?
I know.
I think that happened before. Silly the boy what get four game suspension. If he moves down England, they're wanting them to honour that.
Aye. Listen, they're just, you know, they talk about the emotion of the game and the young boy Watt and McInnes who's going to go in and get interviewed after games and all that. Yeah, it's part of the thing. I mean, people will say things in the heat of the moment. But the thing about it is, Robert, they were right.
They were right, and they're being penalised when really what should be happening is the officials should be getting scrutinised, but you can't say a single word about them. So, again, we touched on it earlier, there's no way to improve the game. If you can't call out mistakes or incompetence or whatever you want to label it, how do you make it better? You simply can't, because you can't open your mouth. Officials don't come out and speak to us after games. Why not? Why not mic them up during the game as well? You see it in England, you've seen it at the World Cup. Give them a mic. You're standing at a game, you're seeing on the screen, VAR decision. You can't see it. You don't get an explanation from a referee. And all you've got to go on is your manager's comments at the end of the game. Now, if your manager says something that's seen as out of turn, who's saying it's out of turn? Where's the rule book that says that phrase or that comment is out of turn? He's simply saying it's a disgusting decision. Is that saying that John Beaton was biased? Does that imply there was cheating? Just it's a disgusting decision. It's his opinion.
John Beaton was that worried about his safety for Scottish football supporters. He went away with them all.
Aye, the only referee from Scotland to go to a World Cup that wasn't on a pitch.
But listen, what they've done is tell the truth, mate. When there's an issue with that, yeah, and that's it. That's maybe the issue with the game. Sooner or later, the game will get challenged, mate, because, and I'm not just talking about Scotland. Come back to the point about the VAR early in the World Cup. Do you think it improves it if they've got to explain their decision? Stand there and explain it?
Well, it improves it if you're Argentina. They've had something like 39, I don't know what, I don't know, it's 39 decisions or something. And they've not had one against them with VAR. So you're talking about corruption in Scottish football. Look at it in the world stage. I think it's broader than what people actually think, guys. But, you know, listen, you knock that one on the head for a couple of minutes, mate. The VAR, it does help in the World Cup. It is, and it showed decisions. And listen, there were some bonkers decisions as well. You know, you know, you're always going to get that. You know, that's where people get frustrated because there's no consistency in it, you know. And when you've got no consistency, that's when you create problems out of nothing. That's what happened.
I think in America, all where they could do with bigger screens, but
Aye. They take out the 70,000 people and put in bigger screens.
Imagine that
You know
sitting in the fireplace wall, eh?
Oh, aye. The problem you've got is the professional film. That's at the moment that's the biggest problem. Until they just start getting red cards for professional fouls, the game's going nowhere. Players are just automatically fouling, and then you've got the players who are diving and kidding on their foul. They're trying to overcome that by saying it's subjective. Now the referee is saying no, that's not a foul. Whereas before they used to get the foul, then they'll get accused of that's inconsistent. Well, you're getting it sometimes, you're not getting it other times. Start with the professional foul. Professional foul should be a red card immediately, mate. If you pull somebody down because they beat you with a bit of skill and you just pull them down, that's a red card. Once you start that, you'll soon see fouls and clearing up. You'll see them all clearing up, mate. It'll start getting the game will start getting more a game, more a football game, more a skillful game. The skill will get rewarded the way it should get rewarded. At the moment, it just gets punished. You can buy something, you get pulled down. We all see it. We're in team day. Every team does it now. Professional foul. And that needs to stop. The other one's the penalty kicks. That box is no clear. I says to Ox the other day, if your penalty kick's awarded and that box is not cleared within 30 seconds for the penalty kick to be taken, the goal's awarded, mate. Just get a goal. That's it. That's a goal. You know, can son there and argue and dig up the penalty spot all you want. It's a goal's been given. You need to clear the team that's the penalties against, you need to clear that box within 30 seconds, mate. 30 seconds. That's all you've got. But at the moment you've got is everybody arguing and back and forward, and it goes on and on and on. Sometimes it's taking 3 and 4 minutes before a penalty kick's taken. These things are one of the things they need to clear up. Every time that the coaches and the players come up with ideas to beat the system or cheat the system, you need to come up with rules to stop them doing it, mate. And this is the problem. Lying down. Remember the lying down? Just keep lying down and he'll stop the game. Or head injury, stop the game, completely stop the game. Had to come up with an idea. You're going to get a head injury, you need to get off. And at the World Cup, you need to get off for at least a minute. You stay off the park. All this stuff. It's ridiculous, mate, because the professional game is that bad now, and it's no. I'm going to say it's competitive, but it's no competitive, mate. It's just you've got to win at all costs, and it's the game itself is dying. It's dying in its feet. It's no entertaining. Everybody will tell you. Everybody's watched this World Cup. You can count in your one hand how many, and I wouldn't even say great games, half decent games have been in that World Cup. It's a bore fest, total and utter bore fest. I've sat at Ibrox watching the game, nearly falling asleep. It's boring, mate, because without the Union Bears and the singing and the dancing, they're all doing, there's nothing to watch. It's just one team kicking the ball away from another team, and nobody trying to score goals or nobody showing any skills. If you show any skill, just, as I said, just get kicked, get pulled back, fouled.
As the game is about scoring goals, you know, maybe somebody should tell Thomas Cook all that. But anyway, yeah. Billy, just quickly before we start wrapping up, mate, what's your gut telling you about the new gaffer?
Aye, mate, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I've got a wee sneaky feeling this is just what the doctor ordered the Rangers, mate. I'm really looking forward to it, and they'll. I mean, I've spoke to a few of the boys and that, and I think they misread my comment. Misread what I said when I said he'll make us hard to beat. I'm not want Rangers hard to beat. I'm saying no, but he'll make us steal. He'll make us steely at the back and up through the middle of the park, mate. I'm looking forward to Derek McInnes' team. We know what he'll no suffer fools gladly. That's one thing. I heard he's talking about Raskin and whatnot, and there's been other managers there that's maybe let him away with a wee bit too much. He's been a naughty boy, to say the least. But he'll not get away with that with Derek McInnes, because it's as simple as that, because he'll not allow that. Because if he does allow it, then he'll be the next one out the door. And it's took Derek McInnes long enough to get to Rangers, as we all well know. So there'll be no nonsense at Ibrox now, mate. And I can only see good things ahead for Rangers. So I can Ox. And as I said, mate, I'm really looking forward to the season ahead.
Yeah. And slow burners with For the signings, I think there's a bit more business to be done quite rapid. Where are you prioritising, Billy?
Well, we got the myself, yourself. We've all spoken about it when you asked the question last year, Ox. Where did we want to go? You know, we all said that we needed a goalkeeper right off the cuff.
We did that.
You know, and then he's starting to sort the defence out, mate. You know, centre halves, full backs, etc. And now he's starting to get the spine of the team sorted. You know, so it's looking all right, mate. I heard he's talking about big Lewis Ferguson and that. I would take that laddie in a heartbeat. I'll take him in a heartbeat because I think he left Aberdeen. Listen, you didn't go out to Italy and become a bad football player. You know, yeah, that's to me, Italy's up there with if no better than the English Premiership. So Lewis Ferguson is strutting his stuff there, and I hope to see that laddie at Ibrox over the summer. If the Rangers can make it happen. So that'd be my next signing, mate. And to be honest with you, Ox, I would like another striker in. I know, mate. I know we've got Lawrence Shanklin, we've got Chermiti in that, and we've got the other boy. What do you call him? Majowski. But I don't think three's enough, mate. I'd like to see another striker.
You forgot about Nadiri, mate. He's still there.
Aye, Nadiri, mate. I know, mate. Aye, sorry, I forgot, but I was still like another striker, mate. You know, competition's healthy.
I think we need some centre halves in, Billy. I think we're really short in that area.
Aye, well, that's what I said. I said that and all, mate. You know, get the defence sorted out. I'm sure McInnes will know, mate, what he's wanting.
Aye, of course.
You know, he'll know what he's wanting, and I'm sure he'll be working behind the scenes as we speak. Control Rangers to bring in the players that he thinks is going to improve the team. And that's what we need. We need players to improve the team, Mox. No just players that's just going to sit in the bench or, you know, just come in and out the team. We need players who's got to be better than what we've got to now, you know.
First 11, mate.
Aye, yep, exactly.
All right, mate. Good to hear from you. You enjoy your trip and getting good weather. You watch that heat of yours.
Oh, I know, mate. I was scared. My missus says to me, she says, mind take that sunblock with you. You know, but it is lying in the house, eh? As usual.
Oh dear.
Anyway, cheers for taking the call, lads.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon, mate.
Take it easy.
Last word for your good self, Robert.
Aye, good wee show tonight, mate. Good to be on yourself and Albert, and good to hear from the callers that have come in as well tonight. Aye, we're slowly getting there, slowly but surely getting up to that stage of the season, mate. It's upon us before we know it. Doesn't seem that long ago that we stopped, and we've all said it. There's still work to be done, and you never know what happens the next few days, mate.
No, watch this space. Albert?
Aye, good to be on with yourself, Robert, Billy, Jim, and the background staff. But aye, I'm looking forward to it myself, mate. It's I'm still on pre-season myself right now, but and I've still got my holdies to take, so you'll need to wait till I come back. I'll sharpen my studs up and I should be fine. Ready
You
to
put
go.
a form? Have you put a form in?
A form? No, I don't do forms.
A list of your holidays in?
No, I don't do that either. I just
do
go on
lists.
holiday.
You do lists?
I just turn up with a passport and a clean pair of drawers ready to go, mate. Let's
You
go
don't
airport. I know where to go.
You don't turn up with anything, mate. You sort nothing out. Don't try and kid me on.
Well, I think that's the sort of things that I really don't, but I think I do. In my head, I'm well organised.
I know who sorts everything out in your house.
Aye, so do I. Talking of that, I just need to feed me soon.
Right, cheers. Listen, Robert, Albert, thanks for coming on. We're slowly building up to the season, mate. Thanks for taking the time to do the show. And Fair Friday, by the way. Fair Friday, yeah? How things have changed there. Thanks to Jim and Billy for joining us. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This is Rangers Radio. We'll be back Monday night. Yes, Monday night as we start building up to the new season. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.